Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kristen and DoSo Knits is my little corner of the internet where I share with you guys how knitting and other fiber crafts have woven into my life. This is my podcast episode that I try to record every 2 weeks where I share so many projects with all of you guys. This is the first podcast of June, which means it's a jam-packed one. So we have a lot coming down the pipeline in today's podcast. This is episode 51. I forgot to mention that. But today I have the giveaway winner for the episode 50 from 2 weeks ago. I have some finished objects to share with you, works in progress that I've been working on, acquisitions, an update on my Scrappy projects, and our Year of Stash KAL update. And my stash update as well. So, like I said, first podcast of the month, have a lot of segments and a lot to go over. So we'll just dive right into it. I hope you have something to work on, maybe something to drink. And remember, take breaks, stretch, relax. You don't have to watch this in one sitting, even though I know I tend to when I watch longer episodes too. It's nice to settle in and just knit and hang out. And I'm excited to share with you everything that I have today. So let's dive into it. The first thing is the episode 50 giveaway winner. I told you guys in the last podcast episode that it was episode 50. It was a milestone episode and I just wanted to share the love with you guys. I was actually looking back and on my Instagram, it has the memories that pop up and like memories from 2 years ago when I had posted episode 20 something. I was talking about Monogamous May and my coast along shawl, and I can't even remember what Monogamous May was. I don't even know what I was saying or what that meant, but the fact that I've been doing, like episode 26 was 2 years of podcast, or 2 years ago, and I had already done 26 episodes. So it just seems like I've been doing this for a while, and I love that you guys have been on this journey with me. And again, I'll stop gushing, but thank you so much. Thank you for all of the kind comments on the last episode. I'm still going through and reading them and hearting and replying and all that kind of fun stuff. But since I'm recording today, I used a random comment picker to pick the winner, and that winner is the Little Movie Studio. They said, hooray for you and getting your sock mojo back. And what a colorful set of yarns. I'm loving that I have a new spinning wheel. Melly, which my yarn is getting better with every skein. Also, I'm learning to weave. Would love to see you spin. So thank you so much for that kind comment. You are the winner of this shawl set of yarn. And I can't wait to get this sent out to you. So please send me an email if that is your YouTube handle, That Little Movie Studio. Send me an email at DoSoKnits@gmail.com and I will get this prize mailed out to you as soon as I hear from you. And that, I just want to say thank you to my patrons. My patrons are the reason why I'm able to do these giveaways and to pay for the shipping. So thank you, patrons, so much. And if you'd like to join, I'll have a little link up here in the doobly-doo if you'd like to find out a little more about my patron and if you would like to join. And yeah, congrats to the winner of this giveaway. I can't wait to get this mailed out to you. And don't worry, at the end of the episode for the Year of Stash KAL, I have another giveaway if you've entered your entries in for that knit along as well. So make sure you stick around for that. We're going to have 2 giveaways this episode. All right, that is all the admin that I have, so we can dive into finished objects. So since the last episode, I have finished a few things. I was feeling motivated to get some projects done before the end of the month, and I'm glad to say that I did. It was last Sunday, the last Sunday of the month, I have a Zoom with my patrons, and we were talking, and Heather from Craft Nut Yarns, if you haven't seen her yarn, also go check it out, said, you need to finish your Aurora headband. And I was like, you are so right. I totally forgot how close this headband was to being almost finished. And I was like, I can definitely finish that before the end of the month. So it's because of Heather that I have finished this headband. But this is the Aurora Headband by Megan Nodecker. I knit it in this color right here. It's a really fun pattern. It's written for fingering weight all the way up to Aran weight yarn. I used a DK weight. This is Stranded Dye Works Merino Yak Silk in a one-of-a-kind colorway, and I love it. So I had like an inch or so left before I had to do the seam here, and so I did the inch and I did my seam, and I'm so glad that this is done. This is for Shane's mom, and they're about to move to Wisconsin, so this is going to get a lot of use. I'll try it on really quick. It's not going to look the best because I'm not going to adjust my curls, but that's kind of what it looks like. I did a size in between the worsted and Aran weight pattern, the stitch count that's in the pattern, because I thought this was nice and wide enough already, and on my it covers my ears. So I think doing that in between stitch count is okay. I did 50 stitches, and yeah. So when you start this, you cast on, start it, and then you split into the 2 tubes and rejoin to make this little cross. And then it's just stockinette in the round until it's the length that you need. What I did is I ended up blocking this. I had it last time on my needle still. I took my interchangeable needle tips off, blocked this, and laid it out to dry to see if it was going to stretch any, because I didn't want it to stretch after I bound off, because I didn't want to undo this Kitchener seam, which you can see, which is a little bit of a bummer. I don't know if I was pulling too tight or too loose. It's definitely a seam that you can see, but I haven't re-blocked this yet since finishing, so maybe it will blend in a little bit more once I finish reblocking it. But yeah, I was able to get this done. It's a really fast and easy knit, and I definitely have plans to make more. Like it on my head, I feel like it's something I could wear. I like headbands, and it definitely feels really warm. The DK weight is a really nice thickness. It's not too thick, it's not too thin. I think, and I mentioned it last time, a worsted or Aran weight I think might be kind of thick, and a fingering or sport I think would just take a little too long. So I think DK is a really nice happy medium for this project, and it comes out better than I thought it was going to. I really love this color. The merino and yak and silk in here is so soft after blocking, and I'm happy to have found a nice home for this to go to. This project overall used 55 grams, so I have about 45 grams left. Maybe I could try to squeeze another headband out. I could probably do a smaller one because it's written for kids and adults. And yeah, I made this a little bigger than my head because I have a smaller head. So I'm hoping that it's gonna fit Shane's mom pretty well. And yeah, I'm happy that this is done. I think it comes out and it looks really lovely. And even though you can see the seam, I don't think that's gonna be as big of a deal. Like you can definitely see it there, but it's okay. I knit these on a US 6. Yeah, and like I said, the 50 stitches, did that inch and did my Kitchener together. Thank you, Heather, for the motivation to finish this. So this was one skein out, and it was Old Stash, which is exciting, 55 grams. A really easy on-the-go project if it is something like stockinette in the round. It's really, really easy. Even the splitting is stockinette in the round. You just had to pay attention to getting these split, and even that's not super hard. Takes probably a couple minutes to get these split to do this cross, and then you're back to the races. So definitely a really nice project, a good project for busting your stash or if you have any leftovers. So I highly recommend it. And yeah, I'll stop gushing about it. I'm glad I can get this in the mail now that I've shown you guys. And yeah, I hope his mom loves it. All right, so I have one more finished object that I finished since the last episode. And these are some shorty socks that I made for my husband, Shane. I'm very happy to have these done. I was racing to finish these before the end of May, and I'm counting these as a finished object for May. I technically finished them on the morning of June 1st, but since that's so close to May, and I'm recording this now and I'm doing my May stats today, I'm counting this as a May finished object. Also because I had made a boo-boo, which is what pushed me into making it into the morning. If I hadn't made the mistake, I would have finished them in May. I don't need to justify this. This is how I'm counting my stash. I'm just saying this is a May finished object, but I finished them on June 1st. Anyway, these are some shorty socks that I made for my husband, Shane. I'm on a mission to find our perfect shorty sock height recipe. So I made these for Shane. I did 10 rounds of 2x2 ribbing here, and it's 17 rounds of leg. I would probably shoot for 15 normally, but I was splitting this pink stripe in half, so it's 17. So a cuff and leg total of 27 rounds. I did a German short row heel, and then a length to fit his foot, and a wedge toe. I did a different toe this time. And I actually did about half an inch of this color before starting the toe decreases. So the yarn that I used is Knit Picks Felici, which is a self-striping yarn from Knit Picks. I have the label here. This color is called Space Disco. It is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. I love Felici because it has these big, bold stripes. It knits up really nicely. It's very squishy. And then the contrast color is Knit Picks Stroll, which is the same base, but not self-striping. So 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, and the color of these is navy. For the self-striping, I used about 40 or 37 grams. And then for my stroll, I have written down that I used about 15, but that's a little skewed because I'm just basing it off of how much is left here. And so the boo-boo that I made. When I measured the first one of these, I had Shane try it on, and I was measuring from the back of the heel to figure out how much of the length I needed, and then I was starting my toe. And then I had him try on the first sock, and the heel was like not on the actual back part of his heel. It was like underneath. And then I realized my boo-boo. I actually was like, well, maybe the German short row heel just isn't working and I'm gonna have to like redo these with a heel flat. And then I was in the shower and I was just like, oh my gosh, I know what the mistake I made was. So like my subconscious brain figured it out. With a German short row heel, it's gonna be hard to see here, but there's a seam here where you do the turn. And so I was measuring from the back of the heel and then going, when I actually should measure from like where, and it's easier to see, not on a blocker. So if I take the sock and fold the heel like this in half to measure from the back of this to get the length, and then I know when to start my toe. I was measuring it from the back of the heel here and not here. So I was adding like an extra ½ inch that wasn't actually length in the sock, so the sock was too short. So I had finished the first sock, and what I ended up doing is I ended up cutting the toe, ripping it back, and then re-knitting just in the contrast color until it was the actual length that I needed, and then started the decreases, and now the sock fits. But it just means I had a little bit of waste of the stroll, which is why even though I say I used 15 grams, there's not actually 15 grams knit in this sock. Overall, I use about 52 grams for the socks, but probably a bit less. I need to actually weigh them, and then I can probably do a little bit of math to see like how much of this is left. This is my Felici left, which will be going into my cozy memories. And then I can do the math for the amount of stroll I more likely use. So I'll be doing that, but these are done. I love the colors, and Shane and I both need more shorty socks, so I'm glad these are done. And yeah, with these I was very inspired to start another pair of Felici socks for myself, so that is one of the works in progress I will be showing you, but summer sock camp is in full swing, and If you don't know what that is, check out the Crazy Sock Lady. It's just you knit socks during the summertime. So I will be taking a picture of these, posting them on Facebook, entering them in for summer sock camp, and I love how the Felicia looks. I did make the stripes match. It actually was a nice coincidence because I finished both of them on the pink, and the color I started on was the next color. So I didn't have much waste, and it was really easy to do with the contrasting toe and heel to be able to do that and to make them match. And I think the navy, even though it's slightly differently colored than this dark blue, like the navy is a little richer than this one, but I think it coordinates really well and these look really fun. So I think around 25 total for cuff and leg with the German short row heel is a good height for Shane. And yeah, those are those finished objects. That's the last finished object I have to show you, and then we'll just move into works in progress, and I'll show you my Felicia socks that I started for myself. So after I finished Shane's socks, I was just really itching to cast on another pair of socks for myself, and I wanted to use Felicia, even though it's the beginning of the month and I should be casting on my Desert Vista Dye Works socks. I don't want to knit 2 shorties again this month because that just felt like a lot, and I just wanted to keep knitting on some Felicia. So I posted on my Instagram yesterday and I had you guys help me pick which color Felicia to start, and I started these socks yesterday. The color I am using for my Felicia socks is called Rustic Cabin. I love this color. It's one of my favorites. And I've pulled this color of Stroll, this is Grizzly Heather, for my contrasting heel, if I decide to do a contrasting heel. So I started these socks yesterday, and this is where I'm at. I'm knitting these on 9-inch circulars. I also knit Shane's on 9-inch circulars on a US 0. My socks are 56 stitches, and I decided to do a toe-up pair of socks because, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out that perfect height of shorty socks, and so this way I'll be able to try them on to get that height that I want. I'm planning to do another German short row heel on these, and then I'll probably play around with the height. I'll see if 25 works well for me or not. I cast on 10 stitches with a Turkish cast on, and I do magic loop until my toe increases are done. I just increase every other round until I have the right amount of stitches. I'm pretty sure that's the toe that Andrea Mowry uses in her sock patterns. I just cast on with 10 and increased to 56. I love these colors. They're very like retro rainbow, which I think is really fun. So the red, orange, and yellow, and then a cream and blue. And my next color is like this darkish brown, I think. So that's why I paired the grizzly brown with this. I'm still undetermined or undecided if I'll do a contrast heel. I do like it, so I probably will. I did not do a contrast toe on mine. I just didn't want to. I just wanted to cast on and start, and I love these. I have smaller feet, so I'd like to just use more of the Felicia as I can, versus Shane's socks, like his used 52 grams. So, and I had a good amount of Felicia left, so I probably could have gotten away with not doing a contrasting toe, but I think a contrasting heel is just a nice, safe bet because I'm trying to use Felicia for shorty socks because I buy 50-gram skeins. I can buy one skein of the 50 grams and then get some shorty socks out of them. So yes, that is that sock. I did go on to Knit Picks, and if you don't know Felicia, they change the colors and they don't re-release them. So if there's a color you like, you really should hop on it and get it. And they had some colors that I really like, and I almost splurged on the Memorial Day weekend sale to get some more Felicia, but I didn't because I need to get through the Felicia that I have. So I didn't buy any more, but I really wanted to. And if you would like some Felicia, I have an affiliate link for Knit Picks, so with that I get a little kickback. You can help support the channel, but it doesn't cost anything extra to you. So if if you want some Felici, I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite self-striping sock yarns, and it's such a good deal. I think each skein is usually about $7. So a pair of shorty socks for $7 is pretty good. I love them. And so yeah, that is another cast on that I did for summer sock camp. More socks. I have a lot of socks to show you. So I'll show you my next pair. The next sock I have is actually my emergency car knitting. I pulled it out and I brought it inside because I needed to turn the heel. And then I've actually just been working on it a little bit, but I think I'm going to put it back in our cars. Or maybe I'll just put it in my bag as my like go-to project. But this is the sock. This is Christmas Jammies from a homespun house on her plush sock base. So I was working on it in the car. I actually didn't have any projects. And so I pulled this out and I was like, I think this is really close to the heel. So I brought it in. I added a German short row heel. On this one, I actually did a mini heel flap, which is something that is in Mina's vanilla sock recipe pattern, which I have linked down below, along with all the other patterns and anything I mentioned. It's all linked down below. Forgot to mention that at the beginning. But yeah, I've now done the little gusset decreases. There's not many with the mini heel flap, and now we're just back on to knitting in the round for the foot. So yeah, this is probably just gonna move back into my like on the go knitting in my bag. So I have two kind of vanilla socks going. I have my Felici socks and this sock. I just love these colors. Aren't they gorgeous? This is such a fun skein of yarn to see it work up. I just love seeing the colors play. So I'll revisit. I did 20 rounds of 2x2 rib for the cuff, and then I recounted and I did 55 rounds for the leg. Normally I would stop at 50 or 60, but this was, like I said, I was in the car and I was like, oh, this is ready for a heel. So 55 is the lucky number, and now we're on to the foot. I think this will be a really nice height sock, and I love these so much. I did not do a contrast heel on these, but I'll probably do the cuff and then the toe. That's my plan right now. And the contrast is a sparkle skein, which I don't think you can see. This is what they look like in skein form. I just love this color. And then that is the mini. So yeah, brought it inside to turn the heel because I can't necessarily do that easily on the go. I like to do the heel in one sitting, especially the German short row heel. Don't want to miss any German short rows or drop one accidentally, because I've done that many times. So bring it inside, sit down, focus on it. Doesn't take too long to turn that heel, and now it's ready to go back on the go. But I'm just really feeling it's such a fun variegated skein of yarn that I just want to see how it's going to work up. I love it so much. But I also cast on a patterned pair of socks because I don't know, I was just feeling something fun. So I shared this on a knit and chat which is something I do for my patrons, and I brought it to a knit night, and I got so many comments from people saying like, that is such a fun bright color pair of socks, and it's so out of my comfort zone, but I love these socks. So these are the Blueberry Waffle socks. That's the pattern I'm using, and that's a free pattern on Ravelry. But I pulled out one of my patron sock sets from a homespun house. So the combo of this is from June of 2022. It is Summer Sunrise and Ditzy. And so that you get a 50-gram skein. So this is the main color. And then you get a 20-gram mini. So I had those two. I had looked in my stash, looked at my sock sets, and this one just screamed out to me. And I was like, that is summer, that is fun. I just want something bright. And then something in my brain was like, I want to add another mini into this. So I went diving into my mini drawer, my drawer of minis, and I pulled out this 10-gram mini from a homespun house. I don't remember the name of this, but isn't this stunning? So I've paired these three together. I love this combination. And I started my socks. Isn't this so good? Oh, I just look at it on the screen and I love it. So let me put these back and I'll show you what I did. So I got inspiration from the pop of color from K. So I did 2 rounds in the neon yellow, 18 rounds of 2x2 for the rest of the sock, and then I started the blueberry waffle pattern. I love how fun and bright these socks are. I actually had started these at knit night just knitting, and then I came home and looked at them and was like, no, I actually want to do a patterned sock, and this is such an easy texture. This is my newest snail from Simply Serving. I love it. I'll show you the texture here. It's such an easy texture. It's basically stockinette alternated with 2x2 rib. It's so squishy. It stretches. It's amazing. These socks are so bright. I'm so happy with them. I just needed something that was happy and bright and just brought me joy. And that is what these are. They are absolutely, like, you can't look at these and not smile. And I'm not a bright color person, but they're socks. They're going to be in my shoes. And I don't know, they're just bringing me so much happiness. So my plan with these is I think I'm going to do a traditional heel flap and gusset. I think I'm going to do the blue as the heel flap, maybe the yellow as the heel turn. And then I'm undecided for the toe. Maybe I'll have to measure my minis after the heel and see where I'm at. The blue is a 20 gram mini, the yellow is only 10 grams. So we're gonna have to see. I may just play it safe with the toe and do it in the orange, but we'll see. After I do the heel flap, I'll do some weighing of my minis to see how much I have left. But yeah, I love these so much. And they're living in one of my Mountain State Stitches bags. I actually have my Felicia socks, and these are living in Mountain State Stitches bags. These are the small ones. It's a great, great, great sock size. So those are all of my socks. My sock mojo is back. Sock mojo is officially back. I just want to knit socks. I just want to knit so many things, but socks have definitely taken a nice, they're back. Socks are back. So yeah, those are all my sock whips. Alrighty, so I have a few more works in progress to show you. I'm kind of focusing on 3 projects at once, and the socks are getting cycled through with kind of these other 2 projects that I'm about to show you. I'm trying to keep like a garment, something with pattern, and then something vanilla. So right now I'm working on a vanilla sock, and then I have a sweater and a hat, and those are what I'm going to show you, and those are my 3 focus projects. But then I don't have to worry about casting anything on when I finish these because I have so many whips on standby. So the next thing I want to show you is my Tolsta Tee by Rebecca Clow. I had mentioned this in the last episode that I had swatched and I was waiting to start, and I didn't want to wait anymore. So I started it. I wanted this on my needles, so I started it. So I'm knitting this on a US 9. I'm knitting a size 6, but with my gauge I should get around a 48-inch bust. And I'll show you where I'm at. Last time I hadn't even started, so the progress is pretty good. It looks really tiny because I'm on tiny circulars, and I am not going to change onto a bigger one because it's just easier to knit, but isn't this stunning? So I cast on, and I've divided for the sleeves. I have about 1 more inch to go, and then I'm going to do some bust starts. And yeah, then it will be stockinette in the round until it's done. So with the pattern recommendations, I actually cast on 8 stitches fewer than my size to get a slightly tighter neckline, and I've tried it on and I really like this neckline. So 8 stitches fewer than the cast on for my size, and then I did a evenly increased round after the ribbing, and then started doing the raglan increases. My ribbing here is probably about an inch and a quarter. And yeah, I'm really happy with the fit. The raglan looks like it fits exactly where I want. And this yarn is like so scrumptious, and yeah, I haven't worked on this today and I want to work on it now. I think it's going to be a really, really lovely summer t-shirt. Maybe not summer, maybe a spring and fall t-shirt, but I already want to make more. So the yarn I'm using is a yarn from Knit Crate, which no longer exists, unfortunately, but this is the label. It is called Vidalana by Knit Crate. This is the Lofty DK. The color is Firewood. It's 48% merino wool, 20% baby alpaca, and 32% organic cotton. DK weight 274 yards. It's interesting because the suggested needle size is a US 3 to a US 5. I am using a US 9 for this pattern, and I love it. It is a nice bigger gauge, like it's not too tight. I really like it, and I think the marled effect is just gorgeous. When I divide it from my sleeves, I just use barber cords to put them on hold. I highly recommend it. It makes it so quick and easy to try on, and so quick when you need to pick them back up. So I don't know how long this is going to be. I have 5 skeins of this in my stash. You can see it used to live right here. I've pulled 2 skeins so far. I've had this for quite a while, so I'm happy to be getting this out of my stash. And like I said, I just want to start another one. Like, I'll probably start another one when I finish this. Hopefully. We'll see. There's a lot of t-shirts that are kind of calling to me, but I've been using my Jezebel B large bag for this. It's been really nice to carry around, and the other night I think we were cooking, and so I was just standing there, and since it's stockinette in the round, I'm just able to work on this, and it's been going really well. For the bust starts, what I did is I've bought the LBD pattern, which is a fingering weight V-neck shirt, and I just wasn't ready to knit a fingering weight shirt yet. But in that pattern, there's suggestions on how to take your measurements from upper bust and full bust and how much you should add fabric-wise for bust starts. And so I used that chart from that pattern to figure out how much bust starts I'm going to add. I'm adding about 1.25 inches worth of fabric at the bust, and then I'm using the Cocoa Knits tutorial to place the bust starts, which is basically just try it on, find your apex of where you want it, put little markers there, and then you can do some math for how often to do, how many stitches apart to do your turns based on how much fabric you need to add. So it's kind of a hodgepodge, but I'm figuring it out, and I use the Cocoa Knits tutorial for my festival sweater, which is over there, which is why I'm pointing over there. I haven't worked on it though, so you're not going to see it today. But yeah, adding some bust starts to hopefully make the front a little bit lower versus the back. And yeah, the LBD pattern has a really great schematic in there to like figure out the how much you should add based on the difference of your upper bust to full bust. So I highly recommend that. I really do want to make the LBD shirt, and I was thinking I could do that in the sweetgrass that I got from Pearl Soho, but I just don't want to make a finger weight sweater right now. DK weight sounds great, so that's where we're going to be, but I do recommend that for that reference. It's a really good reference. Anyway, that's my Tolsta Tee, and I have one more work in progress to show you. So this does not have a pattern name yet because it is a hat that I am designing. I showed you the yarn last time. I am using Arbor in the color Burnished. This is 100% American Targhee wool. It is worsted spun, DK weight. Absolutely a dream to work with. This is the first time I've used Arbor, and I'm loving it so much. So this is the color. It looks amazing. And I swatched for my hat. I actually did many swatches. My initial ideas just weren't working out, and then, you know, it's just a whole cycle of I started a swatch, wasn't having fun with the initial swatch pattern, then started something else and it wasn't exactly what I wanted. So worked through a couple iterations of swatch ideas, but now I'm happy and we're just now making the sample to figure everything out, and this is the hat. So it has a really large 3x3 rib, which is a folded over rib. So there's a lot of ribbing to do, but I think the effect is so good. Halfway through we have a purl ridge too, so the end has this really nice purl. And then the main body of the hat, the ribbing continues up, and then there's panels of these cables. This cable I think looks really intricate and really nice, but it's just so simple. It's a cable round every 4 rounds, and it's just a 3/3, but the alternating makes this really pretty braid. So yeah, I'm just working through this. I have a little while to go, and then it's just figuring out the crown decreases. And yeah. And if you weren't here last time, I'm designing this for a yarn crawl that is happening here in Denver, and this will be the free pattern from Fancy Tiger Crafts. It'll be free both in store and on their website, so you guys will be able to access this a little later in June once I get it all done. But I love how squishy the arbor is, and I feel like it's showing these cables so well. And with the 3x3, it's just so stretchy. Isn't that amazing? I actually tried it on a little earlier today. I'll show you what I did. So I just pull my needles and then... So I love the 3x3. And then it just, the ribbing continues up into the cables. And I'm so excited. So that is my hat design that I'm working on, to be out in July, but I want to make another one of these. I love the arbor so much. Like I said, it's so squishy, and I'm sorry I'm a broken record, but I love it. I love this color, and I love this pattern. So yeah, that is my hat design that I'm working on, and more to come soon. And this one is living in my Join the Stitches butterfly bag. Really nice zip up bag that fits a nice single skein project. And with that, that is all of my current works in progress that I'm working on, but since it's the first podcast of the month, I want to give you guys a little update on my Scrappy projects. So I have 2 Scrappy-ish blankets that I'm working on. So the first one is my Cozy Comfort Throw from a Homespun House. I am knitting this with my Homespun House Advent from 2021. And I got through a few colors this past month. I'm going to fold this in half so that you can see it a bit easier. And this is where this is at. It still looks really short. I have about 2 colors and then I'm at the halfway point. Yeah, I put these colors kind of in a little bit of a fade, and then I caked them all up together. I just tied the ends together and then I'm weaving in ends as I go. As you can see, some ends hanging out there. And yeah, that is my Cozy Comfort Throw. I really like having this sit on my lap when I'm working on it now. It's just really nice and squishy. The garter is nice and mindless. I actually a couple weekends ago did a little movie marathon. I watched all the Hunger Games movies, and I worked on this during most of those because it was just nice to sit and relax and not have to really think about anything. And this is in the plump sock, which is a really nice base to work on. And yeah, so this is my very sad remainder of my first cake, and then we'll be moving into this second cake of yarn. I want to find a dedicated time to work on this every day. It's just, since it's holding 2 strands together, because it's all of my Advent skeins and then I'm holding it with an undyed white, if I don't look at the knitting, I do typically split my yarns. So it's not a great project for reading and working on. And I was working on it when I was editing like podcasts, but now it's a little too big to be comfortable doing that. So I just need to find some time to work on it. I do like pulling it out while we're watching TV. So if anything, I'm just leaving it downstairs by the television. And then my next Scrappy blanket, this one is definitely Scrappy. This is my Cozy Memories blanket. And I'm really enjoying working on this too. So I did 6 squares on this month, which is a good amount of squares for me. And this blanket I'm holding exclusively for fingering weight leftovers from my projects. I just really want this to be like a memory blanket of all the projects I've worked on. So this is the first one. This is leftovers from a pair of socks for Shane. This is Nerd String Chartreuse with Envy, which was in my Westknits KAL shawl. This is some leftover Felici. This is leftover Nomadic yarns that I made socks for Shane. And these are 2 skeins left over from a share pair from Mandy's Makings. So I did 6 squares this month. Normally I'm a little better about weaving in the ends as I go. I don't know, a few weekends ago I just really wanted to work on this and was knocking squares out. So this is what it looks like in total, kind of. And then I started adding 3 more rows, and I'll just add 3 more rows across. I have no idea how big this is going to be. I have no plans. I'm just adding to it, and eventually one day I'll be like, this is getting close to big. So what I do is I keep everything in this giant bag that I got from Shane's mom from 31. I put all my knitting pins on here. And then inside I put the leftover skeins that I need to add in. I used to pull off like 5 grams, but now I'm not doing that. Now I'm just putting the skeins in totality, and then I will add them in, and then they go into my remaining scrap bin. So this is the leftover from the Desert Vista Dye Works socks that I did this month, and then I have my Felici to add in. So that's my main goal, is I'm trying to add in projects that I'm finishing now, the weekends that I finish them. So like I want to add, I'm a little behind on this. I should have added it in a couple weeks ago, but I'll probably add both of these in this weekend, and then anything else, I try to do a square a weekend at least, if not a square every weekend day. And then I just pull from the bag, because this is kind of a backlog to say. I use my signature needles for this. I do 40 stitches per square, and these are 3mm needles. And yeah, this is one of those when it's in my bag, I forget about it, and then every time I pull it out, I'm so happy to pull it out. I'm a little slow knitting these. Each square takes me about 40 minutes. I think I saw someone else on Instagram the other day, and they said their squares take them like 20 minutes. I just knit really slow. So they take me a bit longer, but I love seeing it grow. So that is the update on my Scrappy projects, and an update on all my works in progress as well. Okay, so now we move into acquisitions. So I have a few things that have come in the mail since the last episode, and then I'm slowing down my buying just a little bit. So the first thing that came in is my final installment from the Les Garçons Mysterious Sea Club. And I think they've shown it on their podcast, and you'll at the ready I've seen shared on theirs. But this month was the jellyfish. And so this is the pin. Whoop, sorry. This is the pin. And this is the sticker. And this is the sock set. Such a good color. It's a really vibrant purple and then a really cute blue. So again, this is BFL sock, 80% superwash BFL and 20% nylon fingering weight. And the mini this month is called Glacier Water. The main color is Mysterious Jellyfish. So I have no idea what I'm going to use this club for, but I do love sock sets. And yeah, I'm excited to have this. I will be adding the sticker onto my notebook and then that pin onto that Scrappy Cozy Memories bag. And then I had an order from a homespun house arrive. So I mentioned previously, I'm on her Patreon, and she does some vlogs and she has a podcast on YouTube. And every time Molly sat down in front of her couch, I kept eyeing this sock set. And I was like, I have to have that sock set. And every time she'd post, I'd go to the website, see if the sock set was on there, and it wasn't. And then finally one day it was, and I immediately bought this sock set. So this is the Plump Merino sock, 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon with 2 minis. It is the best color combination. So it's this really beautiful mint with slight speckling. Like, do you see that? And then a beautiful combination of minis. So once this hit the shop, I knew I had to buy it, and it's everything. I love it so much. So this came in the mail, but since I was paying for the shipping from Germany, I figured I might as well add something else. And so I added a color that I fell in love with from when I got the non-superwash advent last year. This is the color Wildwood, and I splurged a little bit and got the MCN base. So this is 70% superwash merino, 10% nylon, and 20% cashmere. And fingering weight, I love this color so much, and I bought it to be a muscle burrow in the future. So since I finished the last muscle burrow, I've been itching to start another one. And I really want a green cashmere muscle burrow. Not completely cashmere, but a little bit of cashmere to make me feel nice and special and soft, and I love this color so much. So I don't want to say this is going to jump on my needles really soon, but it may jump on my needles very soon because I really want this. Not that it's muscle burrow wearing season anytime soon, but yeah, I love this color so much. And I debated between the non-superwash, but I really wanted cashmere. So we got superwash merino, nylon, and cashmere. And yeah, those are the yarn acquisitions. And of course I have a little fiber acquisition to show you guys as well. This is my Nest Fiber Club from May. The color this month is called Knee High to a Grasshopper, which I think is a funny name. And this month's base is Rambouillet. I think it's really pretty and really spring. Sorry, I have to, because of the light. But we got some pretty greens, some mints, orange, and pink in there. So yeah, I haven't been doing much spinning. I know I need to, like, I guess I don't need to. I've thought about trying to do 15 minutes every day, but I just haven't been in the mindset to spin recently, and it'll come back. It'll come back soon. I just been enjoying my knitting and my socks right now. And yeah, so those are all the acquisitions, and so we'll move into the next part, which is the Year of Stash KAL stats, and we'll start with my stash updates. So if you remember, my goal for the year, and if you don't remember, I'm going to tell you, my goal for the year is to use more stash than I bring in. So I track my stash by skeins in and skeins out. I'm also tracking grams slightly, but the ultimate goal is more skeins out than skeins in. So this month, we're trending the wrong direction for the ultimate goal, but we're gonna reprimand that in the upcoming months. So this month I brought in 18 skeins of yarn. I bought in 6 skeins of Knit Picks palette to finish my festival sweater. 7 skeins of Knit Picks Wool the Andes Sport, but that was to bump up some stash to have enough to do another sweater. I brought in the 2 skeins of Arbor, which will come out once I finish my hat design. I brought in the 2 skeins from a homespun house and 1 skein from Les Garçons. I also brought in 12 ounces of fiber. So 18 skeins in this past month. Finish object wise, I got out 4 skeins of yarn. I had 1 skein out for my Desert Vista Dye Work socks. I had 1 skein out for the Aurora Headband and 2 skeins out for the Space Disco socks. I also destashed 2 skeins of yarn with giveaways. And so that puts me at a plus 12 for May and a plus 17 skeins for the year. I am hoping once I finish some of these sweaters that this number will tick down. But yeah, we're gonna slow our buying down a little bit. I have a little bit of destashing that may be happening in June. So we'll see. Gram wise, I was at a plus 608 grams this month, and year to date I'm at plus 1,215 grams. So we're not doing too bad. We're just trending the last 2 months, April and May. I've been trending upward a little bit. I got a little excited. I wanted to buy some yarn. It's all good. We're gonna knit some things now. But yeah, that's my stats, but let's move into something more interesting, the community stats for the year of Stash KAL. If you don't know what the year of Stash KAL is, I'll link the video explaining it up above in this little do bar up above, and it's also linked in the description below. But the year of Stash KAL is just a knit along, make along, spin along, fiber along that I'm running for the duration of 2023, where the point is to just use your stash that you had from before 2023. Any projects using any bit of stash that you have from before 2023 counts. You can use 1 skein from in the color work that's old stash, and the rest of the sweater could be new stash, and it will still count in this knit along. There's a Google form to submit your projects. You can join at any time. You don't have to have finished the projects in each month. I just pull prizes from entries from the previous month to keep it nice and easy and to make sure that the people I'm pulling are actively still participating in this knit along. So yeah, community stats for the year of Stash KAL. This past month we had 62 different entries, and I always like to show a little slideshow of what you guys are making, and so let's run that now. So like I said, we had 62 entries this month and some gorgeous projects as always that you guys are submitting and using from your stash. I love seeing it so much. And I like to always do a little bit of stats for you guys as well, just to keep it interesting. So this past month, you guys used 122 skeins, 20 minis, and gram-wise, it was 7,049 grams total. So year to date for the knit along, we're not halfway through yet. June is halfway. So we're at 964 skeins, 326 minis, bananas, and 75,636 grams. It's crazy. As far as projects that you guys entered in last month, the top categories were 47% socks, 12.9% hats, and then tops and vests and shawls were tied. They both had 9%. We had a combination of smaller accessories, lots of socks and hats, but then tops and shawls, those use a good amount of yarn. So it's really cool to see that that's still in the top 3 types of projects that you guys are submitting. And yeah, so now we'll do our giveaway winner for this month. So I use a random number generator. I ask my Google, I say pick a number between 1 and the number of entries. So this month the random winner was number 5. And so that is Florence for her wildflower and honeycomb socks. These socks are absolutely beautiful. So stunning. The detail is so delicate. I love the heel on these socks. I'm gonna have to go to the Ravelry project page to see what this heel is because I've never seen this heel before. It looks so cool and I love the color. I love the nice neutral color of these socks. They're absolutely stunning and beautiful. So Florence, you are the winner. Congratulations. Please send me an email at DoSoKnits@gmail.com. Send me your mailing address and I will get a prize sent out to you and we'll coordinate all of that via email. And yeah, that is all of the knitting and fiber content that I have to share with you guys today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Please, as always, if you like the video, give it a nice like and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to know when I post my future videos. If you'd like a little more behind the scenes or to help support the channel, consider joining the Patreon. It's a lot of fun and I love getting to know you guys. And again, my patrons are what make it able for me to mail out these shipping prizes. So thank you, patrons, so much. And yeah, I hope you guys have put a little bit of love into every stitch you're making today. And as always, I hope I was able to keep you a bit company. I can't wait to see what you guys think and coordinate and comment and correspond with you guys all in the comments. So yeah, thank you as always for supporting me and this channel. And I'll see you guys again in a few weeks. I hope you have a lovely June and happy knitting.